Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and everyone. Welcome to everybody. Today I am going to discuss some of the things in the area of electrical drives. The topic today is research opportunities and engineering careers in electrical drives. My name is Dr. Minhaj and email address is minhaj.zahir@gik.edu.pk. So if anyone want to ask something, he can contact me at this email and I will be happy to reply. So starting the presentation, first I will discuss the outline. In outline, first thing is the introduction of mine, what I have done and what I have achieved. And secondly, the global trend in electrical machines, design and manufacturing. And then challenge at the industrial scale, opportunities for engineering careers, necessary skill set which is required to flourish in the industrial engineering research, and prerequisite which is very mandatory for to nurture those skills which I will discuss in the presentation. And then in the last I will discuss the research opportunities in FES at GIK. So first, my introduction. I have made this slide like prior knowledge intensity, and the final step is PhD in electrical engineering, which I have done. And then I have experience of 4 years as a project researcher. So for that you need to have these type of skills. And first I did my bachelor's from GIK in engineering sciences from 2007 to 2011. And secondly, I have done the MS in computational engineering from LUT University located in Finland. And lastly, the skill set which is mostly required to have a PhD in electrical engineering is electromagnetics. You should have knowledge of electromagnetics, simulation and modeling, and finite element analysis. These are the three core things which you need to have in order to have a PhD in electrical engineering. And then these things lastly go to PhD or job like project researcher. So I have discussed the intensity of these all. First, like from I will start from the bachelor's. So if the things you study in bachelor's is 100% tend towards PhD. So there it is written that 100% intensity towards MS, and however 50 to 70% contributes towards PhD. So if anyone want to secure a PhD or job after completing his PhD, so he must know that the things he is learning in the bachelor's is going to contribute this type of intensity towards PhD. And secondly, for the masters, the things I learned in masters is contributing almost 40 to 50% towards PhD. So these skills that developed from the basics are helping me to take it to PhD. And the skill set which I have learned from MS and my bachelor's is contributing 100% towards PhD. Means if you want to have a PhD or a job at international level, so you should have these type of skills, and you need to develop these type of skills to secure a good job and good thing in at the international scale. So carry on further, I will want to chip in a quotation from a very good scientist, Alfred Nobel. He said, if I have 1,000 ideas and only one turns out to be good, I am satisfied. So that means achieving so many things is impossible. So if you achieve your one target and you are famous because of it, so it's enough to satisfy you. So next, global trends in electrical machine design and manufacturing. So here I will discuss the top 10 electric motor manufacturers which are in the world and contributing great towards electrical machine design. So firstly, ABB, which is Switzerland based company, and the revenue of that is to $28.6 billion. And secondly, which is very famous and very much contributing towards machine design, is Allied Motion Technologies. So it's a USA based company, and look at the revenue, 371.1 million dollars. So it's very high market and very high good company, reputable company manufacturing the electrical machines and doing research on electrical machines. Then further moving on, there are list of companies which are doing great in electrical machines. So I will not go in all, but there are many reputable companies. So global market size and consumer. Once you develop the thing, then you have to sell your idea. So to sell this idea, like, you have to target some of the basic things, needs of the people. So if you see the global electric motor market, which is totally reside in China, so Asian Pacific is contributing a great towards electrical machine design. Means if you are manufacturing those machines, so your biggest market is Asia market, and here the China is the most leading one. And it is expected that up till 2030, 6.3% growth of electrical machine demand because of electrical vehicles, and transportation is the biggest branch which is contributing main towards its market. So transportation is greatly focused by China, like electrical vehicle design and other things, etc., etc. So China is the whole highest revenue maker towards electrical motor market, and cumulative average percentage is 6.8 up till from 2020 to 2030. The global market key drivers. So in order to meet something, you need to highlight the problems, and you need to make the challenge achievable, so your product is going to sell in the market. For that, like, first, the impact is the first one is the energy efficiency of electrical machines, which has very high impact. Mean lot of people, lot of companies, they are focusing on energy efficiency of motor. Mean if you give the input to the motor, then your motor should be efficient enough to convert all the input power to output, which is not ideally possible, but there is research going on to make it more and more efficient, and the impact of this thing is very high. Like, people are targeting mainly on these things. And then secondly, residing adoption of EVs, so its impact is also very high. Like, people, most of the companies, they are making it possible so it can fit in electrical vehicles or other things to make it autonomous. And then in the last, like, the impact last is increasing usage of electrical motor for several applications. So these the impact of this is medium kind of impact, but still it is in high demand. Like, you design such type of motors which are practically applicable in your demands. So challenge at industrial scale. First challenge, like, to make the motor, as we discussed earlier in the previous slide, to make the motor most highly efficient. For that, there are some international standards, and based on efficiency of motor. First is standard IE1, which is standard efficiency for 50 hertz motor, and IE2, IE3, IE4, and similarly IE5. So people now companies now are focusing on to develop such type of machine which is very efficient, and at least they should fall in IE4 category, means super premium efficiency for 50 hertz machine. 50 hertz machine are mostly induction machines or high speed induction machine. Means now the people are targeting for IE5, which is still not achievable, but companies are facing some kind of difficulties to make it more and more efficient, and lot of research is going on to make it more and more efficient, but still they are lagging in it. So from July 2023, all electric motor from 75 to 20 kilohertz that are commissioned for land based industrial application within EU and must be IE4 or higher. Means EU, Europe is Europe has is now shifted towards IE4 machines. Means they are very efficient, and the emission, CO2 emission, is very less from these machines, and they are from this July 2023, they are totally moving towards IE4 machines, which is the demand of the current era. So if you see, there are countries in the list which are using the different categories of machine. So IE3 machines, they are mostly popular in Canada, Mexico, USA, South Korea, EU in the previously. But you see IE4, which is the highest standard maintained by machines, is applicable in EU. So EU is just using those machines which are highly efficient and converting most of the energy to output. So to reduce the power losses, they are very efficient towards that, and lot of research. I have been to EU, and believe me, there is lot of work going on in making the machine more and more effective. They are spending too much revenue on research and development to make the machines more and more compatible to the environment. So next, there are I will discuss the opportunities for engineering careers in electrical drives. If there is anybody who select the electrical drives, so what is going to be the opportunities in the future for him or her. So first, I have distributed two categories. First is engineering, and second is research. So these are two career perspectives which one can choose. So if he choose engineering category, then he might fall into industries, and in the industries, like from the LinkedIn and from this several job market, like he can land into as a test engineer or as a design engineer. They are mostly focused by international market, like design engineer. In the design engineer, I will discuss further what you required and what is the requirement, what you can do as a design engineer and what are the requirements. So as a test engineer, you can land into the companies, and as a design engineer, which is the most targeted one by the electrical engineer. And in the research, you can do the R&D for a company, or as a PhD or a project researcher, which I did in my career. So these are the two categories which one can choose, and he can go to these type of categories for his job and other things. So once you have done your PhD or a project researcher job in a good reputable company, you can easily generate some kind of ideas to make your own startup. And I have seen the people in the international community, that people have started good companies and they are making lot of revenues by solving few kind of challenges in the electrical machine design. And Spin Drive from my university is a reputable company. It was developed by my colleagues, and they are going great, and they are now multi, like not millionaire, but their revenue is quite good. Like they are quite reputable among the companies in Europe. So skill sets. Now I will discuss the skill set which is required for electrical engineer or electrical drives engineer. The first thing is I have also divided into two categories from the practical knowledge point of view and theoretical knowledge point of view. So these are two things which you need to learn very strongly in your bachelor's or in your master's or in your PhD. And practical knowledge is totally based on software skills. You need to develop your software skills if you want to do good in electrical drives, and then you should be capable enough to perform laboratory experiment, like testing of machine in the laboratory or other kinds of things in the laboratories. So these two categories, they are very famous, and one should be like completely good enough to handle these type of things. So in the software skills, you need to develop finite element analysis skill. Mean you need to develop some kind of skill from the software point of view, where you can test the machine. You can develop a prototype and test the machine, and see what is going on in the machine, what is the criteria which you can judge that the machine is efficient enough, and where the losses are taking place. So, and then secondly, your MATLAB skill should be very efficient. Like you need to develop some kind of codes from where you get some parameters, and you give the input to the finite element analysis, and then you can carry on your simulation. And for that, you can also use Mathematica software to get those values, which is helpful for the simulation in FEA. And Python is also very recommended, because once you have your simulation results, then there comes Python, and you can analyze the result. You can figure out what you want by using some kind of codes. I have used the open source software, and for that I need all four things to analyze my results. So these four skills one should be having if he is gonna target the research or international job market. And then from the laboratory experiment point of view, lab view is very important. Like Dr. Umar, he's teaching the instrumentation course, and most of the work there is done in lab view. So he should be very capable enough to handle the things in lab view. And from the laboratory experiment, he will get data, and from that data he will simulate it in lab view and then get the final results, and by using MATLAB also. So these four things, these skill sets, they are very much necessary to be good in electrical drives, as electrical drives engineer. And then from the prerequisite mandatory to nurture those skills. So as I have discussed, that you study in undergraduate and graduate some kind of courses, some kind of labs, they are very useful in developing your skills. So I have listed some of the courses which I feel that it is very necessary to be good in that. So first is the electrical components course, the course where you discuss electrical components. So that courses, they are very much critical, and you should be very good enough to handle those skills and those things in your courses. And then circuit analysis is very helpful for developing your skills like resistance, inductance, these type of things. And plus, if you do well in labs, then you can handle easily all the hardwares and things which is very necessary to test the machine in the laboratories. And electronics, obviously you should have the knowledge of electronics, that what is going on, what is the component in the machine, and what you're going to analyze. Signal and system, obviously once you have the data, you need to process it. So signal and system is going to be very helpful in the future if you're choosing these type of things. And control system is also very highly recommended. Plus you need to do well in all these courses, plus labs are very handy to develop your skills. And you can test your skills in labs. So tasks which are performed in lab, it is very helpful. They are very helpful in developing your skills for the future. And for the graduates, for the MS students, the course of electrical drives, design of electrical machine, power electronics, mathematical modeling, they all contributes towards your to make your skills very good. So above all, I have listed some of the things which are quite common for the graduates and undergraduate, which I studied when I was undergraduate student and I was a graduate student. So these things I faced very critically when I was doing a PhD or a job as a project researcher. First thing is you should have very good enough knowledge of electromagnetism. So electromagnetism is also taught at undergraduate level and graduate level. Then secondly, finite element analysis, you should be very good in analyzing the things in FEA. And LabVIEW is also very handy tool you need to learn. And programming language like Python and MATLAB, they are all discussed in undergraduate level and graduate level. So these are the key parameters which I feel which I faced to do good in my PhD. So when I gave the interview to my supervisor for the PhD and project researcher, they specifically asked me about those skills which is listed in red. So these skills, they are very handy and they can land you in a good position. Then the research opportunities, FES, I myself is taking some kind of initiative in developing a group of people which can do good and which can polish your skills, which can show you the direction towards which the world is going. And for that, I have listed in my group right now. It is not like listed, but I am going to list it soon when I feel that I have enough research and enough people, so I can list it in GIK. So first is electrical drive. Obviously I'm from electrical drive, so it need to be there. And then the machine learning is the second part. So these two categories I have merge into FMERGE. FMERGE mean like Foreign Multidisciplinary Engineering and Research Group. So all the people in this group, they are basically foreign based, and they are taking actively contribute. They are contributing actively towards the research. So first, from the electrical drives portion, me myself, and then my supervisor, which is Dr. Pia Lind and Dr. Lassi Arni Mori. I forgot to mention my boss, which was Juha Pironen. He is very capable, and he is excellent in designing electrical machines. He has written almost 4 books and more than 400 journal papers. So he is very much capable to handle all the problems in electrical drives. I forgot to mention, sorry, in the slides. So he is also like my boss, and he will also be there. So from there, like we are currently doing research on 5 kilowatt induction machine. We have the all the experimental data which is necessary, and we need to simulate it on FEA to verify them and then publish them on journal paper. And then secondly, the high speed induction machine is also very famous among the companies and among the problem solving. So this machine is going to be a very good machine in future, and in the electrical vehicles it is also very much used. So these machines, they are currently in my portal, which I am going to research in the future. And from the machine learning point of view, we have two things: robotics and autonomous driving, self-driving. So autonomous driving. So for that, there is my colleague Dr. Shoaib Azam. He was also here when I was working here in GIK. He is also graduate of GIK. He is currently doing his research in Aalto University, Finland, as a postdoc. He is there, and he is very much capable of dealing the problem with electrical machine. He has more than 35 research paper and 11 journal papers. So he is very capable enough to deal any kind of problem. Plus myself also have some experience in machine learning from the robotics point of view. So these are my key features and key members of team. If anybody else want to join, he can join, and our team will definitely help in developing your skills for from research point of view, from graduate point of view, from PhD point of view. So anybody who has some kind of knowledge about robotics or autonomous driving or electrical drives, he can contact me. I can give them definitely a good ideas, and which will be helpful in future. So future prospect after research in FES, like if you join our team and do some kind of research, what is going to be the most crucial points which could be good for your future? So the research you are going to do with us is highly beneficial in developing your critical thinking and innovating ideas. Like in machines or in machine learning, you will be trained like this, that you will be able to capable enough to develop some kind of your own things and your own ideas, and your critical thinking will be developed. And secondly, multicultural research environment. As I discussed earlier, that all my group is based on foreign research, foreign people. So you will be having a good enough multicultural research experience, that how challenges are solved in the outer world and how they deal with it. So thirdly, it is good for developing a healthy relationship with foreign faculty members. Like this is very plus, that if you do some kind of research in a group where multiple papers from different backgrounds and different countries, obviously it is going to be very helpful in your future. Like you can develop healthy relation with the good people which are doing great in their areas. So foreign faculty is always like good to be have in chat with you. So say in the last, say, able to you will be able to land in good foreign universities. Like once you do your research work, graduate work or PhD, then obviously by having the good foreign relation, you can apply to those universities, and you can use their name. And obviously once you apply, they already know you, so it will be good for your future also, that you can go abroad easily and get some kind of scholarships or funding from them. And they have great money. Like they have very much projects going on, paid projects going on over there. So it's a good opportunity for anyone who can research to make a good collaboration with the foreign members. So in the last, we will try to polish out your skill sets, which is mandatory to solve real world problems, and which will be quite helpful in developing your skills, and you will be which will be helpful in doing great in the future. So these are all the challenges and problems which I discussed, and from my side, which I can contribute towards any student or any research member. So in the last, I would like to thank you for your attention, and if you have any question, I would like to welcome it, and I will be happy to answer it. Thank you very much.